Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Roy Blackstone Market Watch. I know I had a little video last week that was released. It was Market Watch 3, and that one was pretty much a disaster because I actually uploaded the wrong video. I ended up getting a call on Telegram from someone, the Bogdanovs, and so I had to actually answer that one and close that video and unfortunately uploaded that one. So sorry about that one. You didn't get to hear my analysis for last week, but we do get to hear my analysis for this week. So it has been 2 weeks since we last did a video on this, and so we're looking at the weekly here. Obviously, things are looking extremely bearish and extremely sad and extremely frightening for a lot of people, depending on what your exposure to crypto is right now. I'm still flat. Thank Satoshi, thank Vitalik, thank whoever. I'm still flat, thankfully. I'm basically sitting in USD right now. I'm not really in much of a crypto position. I don't have too much exposure besides a few tokens here and there. But for the most part, yeah, I'm pretty much flat. And like I said, thankfully so, because we've obviously had this huge downswing. I think the last time we were at something like 10,500 or 10,600. Now we're looking at 9,500. So down quite a bit. Obviously, I'm not really a day trader. I'm not a swing trader. Really, I'm much more of an investor type, and so I'm much more looking towards the longer term picture of what is happening and what's going on. So in the short term, certainly looks quite bearish. Just from a general perspective, you look at this chart and you're like, yeah, this is probably not going up for quite some time. You look at the weekly here. The weekly looks like a complete disaster. Obviously, we had this double top that was printed quite a few weeks ago now, almost a month ago now, and we have never gotten even close to anywhere near that level again, just because it was such a decisive double top here. And so we've been just dumping and dumping and dumping. And it's almost getting a little bit parabolic, funnily enough. This dump is actually getting a little bit parabolic. I don't really know if I can get a line here or a curve. So this is actually the action that I'm seeing. This is getting kind of crazy. Yeah, so this is pretty frightening for anyone who's in crypto right now, obviously. So I don't begrudge you if you're looking to sell right now, to be completely honest. I think it is probably going to continue. I think this is certainly not the end of it. The dumps will continue until morale improves. Yeah, so yeah, I just don't see. I think, again, fundamentally speaking, what we had initially, the run up, was a few individual, I would say institutional investors who were buying in. Obviously, they were buying in with a lot of volume, and that then attracted the retail traders who started trading, and they went and obviously FOMO'd this thing up to 13.5, and then we had the very sick MLG no scope double top, and now we're pretty much in this disastrous situation where we're just kind of in limbo and we're pretty bearish and no one's really bullish right now on Bitcoin anymore. I don't really know too many people who are bullish on this asset at the moment. Personally, again, I'm not particularly bullish on it. I'm flat, obviously, sitting in fiat. Fundamentally, recently nothing has happened that has been too interesting, that's been too bearish or too bullish. The only story that I've really been able to kind of catch has been this one. So this is a case that has been going on since, I have no idea how long. I think the last article I found on this was the 9th of July. And this was basically the New York Attorney General having a little bit of a spat with BITFINEX. And they were saying, well, you were probably serving a lot of people from the United States. That's not allowed here because the United States sucks. So sorry if you're listening from the United States. I love the people. I don't really like the whole bureaucracy behind it. So anyway, we had this little spat between BitFinex and the New York Attorney General. And here's the headline: BitFinex, New York customers cited by New York Attorney General are foreign entities. So the New York Attorney General was stating basically that BitFinex was serving U.S. customers all throughout 2018. BitFinex says, no, that's wrong. We actually closed our doors to the U.S. back in 2017, and anyone who was operating from New York was a foreign entity, was someone who was perhaps in New York, the state, but they obviously were a foreigner. So let's say if you're a Chinese guy and you have a BitFinex account and you go trade in the United States, they probably would still allow you because you're still a Chinese citizen. You can prove your citizenship. You can prove your domicile, so on and so forth. So That's really the only piece of news. I don't think this is particularly interesting, really, or anything that's going to be super bullish or bearish or going to be any kind of catalyst. Yeah, so I mean, it's just kind of a lot of waiting around. Unfortunately, this is crypto. It moves certainly. Price moves a lot faster than traditional markets, but the news moves at a snail's pace. The development moves at a snail's pace. We crypto investors have gotten extremely used to things like delays and all of that. So you have to be a long-term investor when it comes to these kind of things. You have to have the long-term view. And for this market watch, really, that's just the only piece of fundamental news. Aside from that, things are looking bearish, guys. Things are looking like they're going to take just the fattest dump ever. Now, obviously, we're looking forward. So now we want to look forward. We're at 9,500 now. The question is, where are we going to head? And to be honest, I certainly can see the price going below where we're at now, 9,500. I think 10K was kind of the level that we had to maintain if we wanted to maintain a bullish bias. So now we're bearish, obviously. And I think because we're below 10K, we're going to go a lot lower than 10K. I don't think it's going to be a short pit stop below 9,500 and then we're just going to rocket back off again because, again, no one is really bearish on this. No one is bullish on this asset at the moment. So I certainly see a lot of selling coming in big from traders I know, as well as just the chart. You can look at this. You see nothing but selling here. So targets, I don't know. I think below 9,500, again, not investment advice, but below 9,500 certainly is definitely almost certain. I think is almost certainly going to happen. I could see something as low as 8,500, even 8K, maybe even 7K. I don't know about any numbers below that. I think anything below that, you're getting into that realm of you're just being bearish just because you're in a downswing. Certainly, we've had downswings like this before when it comes to Bitcoin, where Bitcoin has almost had a little bit of a mini crash, which we've had now. We're getting a 30% pullback now, almost 40%. And so that all that does is or all that it serves to do is to shake out a lot of not a lot of bullish investors, a lot of people who are holding their Bitcoin. They're looking at this thing, they're going like, oh my God, I need to sell now because we could be going a hell of a lot lower. So certainly, while I do think we're going to go lower, I'm not entirely convinced that we're going to go that much lower. I think it would be a glorious buying opportunity for anyone if we really did get numbers in the 6K range. I think 8K and below, you can or 8.5 even, you can probably start thinking about maybe averaging in, start thinking about Bitcoin as a decent buy, start thinking about putting in just a little bit. You don't need to go too hard because again, 8,500, I wouldn't even say that's the bottom. I mean, if we hit 85, who the hell knows? We could hit 8,000, 7,000. So it's definitely one of those things where if it's bearish, you want to start averaging in your buys as the price continues to go lower if you are bullish on the longer term. So definitely, I believe the phrase is trust in God and keep your powder dry. So you don't want to blow your load as soon as we hit 9K or 8K or something. You want to keep your powder dry. You want to make sure that you have enough gas in the tank to survive getting a little bit of a roughing up as we go lower and lower. But again, long term, always bullish on Bitcoin. We're always going to be bullish on Bitcoin. We're certainly going to hit $20,000 again. And we're going to certainly go beyond that. This is financial advice. Go long everything. Go mortgage your house because we're going to go 20K plus Bitcoin. Just kidding. But certainly bullish on the long-term investment. I'm not bullish on you mortgaging your house, guys. Don't do that. So that's all I had for this market update. We will have another one next week. Hopefully we get some kind of interesting news. I don't really think there's anything really that's going to happen in a 1 week time span, but we do make these videos weekly. And as far as the channel is concerned, I have a really cool video coming out. I don't want to spoil what it's about. It's a very interesting, it's very research heavy, so I'm doing a lot of research with this one. And I'm also going to be fully voicing, scripting, and editing this one with full footage, videos, everything. It's going to be a really, really nice video. I'm putting so much work into this one, and I think it's definitely going to be one of the best channels on the best videos on the channel so far. So I will let people know on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter if you don't, at PhilBeforeShill. I'll let people know when that video is coming out. I'm not sure when. I have a lot of Blackstone Speaks coming out still. A lot of interviews in the pipeline. So it might be this week. It might be next week. It probably will be sometime next week. But it will be obviously within the next 2 weeks. I will have that video out. So look forward to that one. Obviously, keep in touch with me on Twitter. You can always DM me, and I will be back with some more stuff very soon. Cheers, guys.